Well, hello everybody, it's John Neal here, and today I'm going to Cannock Chase, which is an area of outstanding natural beauty, I think it's called, and it's in the Midlands, not far from Birmingham, to be honest. And I've got to take the car to get a new key cut. I say cut, it's got to go to the dealer for quite a bit of time and get it all coded up and ready to go. So I've only got one key for the car at the moment. Well, that's got my bike out the car, and here we are at the car dealership, available car as it happens, at Cannock, and my bike's all been sorted. As you can see, I brought this seat with me. It's a great seat, it's not very heavy, it's quite large, but it's really convenient to sit on when you're out and about, so we'll see if that works. A bit busy and crazy to start with, but we turn right at this island. Well, the interest and tragedy really starts already. There's a fellow back there living in a tent behind the bush next to a bus stop. I just saw him wander across. This road I'm taking around the edge of the residential area, I was talking about the other day to somebody, in Britain we have quite fairly rigid planning rules. So you'll see sometimes on a town or a city, the houses will suddenly stop. And that's the case here at Cannock. So if I show you this, over this side we've got housing, and here's the road I'm on, and then on this side, nothing. There's a clear demarcation between the housing and the countryside. So they've said no houses over there, that's green belt. It won't be used for housing. Which is a good idea, because just up the road here, at the top, is a huge area of Cannock Chase, a big woodland, heathland, right in the middle of the Midlands, and only about 10 to 15 miles away from the middle of Birmingham. And it is, yeah, a great place to go. Let's go and have a look. See, the trouble with being a sign writer, retired, is that you spot signs and you think, what is going on? And this just caught my eye to start with. And it says Club Social Longford, and it's Longford Social Club. This one's the right way around, but I hate lettering going up and down. I'd never do that. And then to do it backwards is just insane. What are they thinking of? Anyway, it caught my eye and my eye wept. Some rather nice houses here. Look at these, very pleasant. And these are right on the edge of this housing development, because this is all woods. Bit of a hill here, but I tell you what, there's some serious properties here. Very, very nice. Right, finally made it to the edge of the wood. This is Cannock Chase, and we're quite high up actually, because if I pan round over here, you can see we're fairly high up, and I've just come up a hill to get here. And this is the start of the wood. So, we'll see what we've got. Well, appears to be a rather famous beech tree that was here. It's a great expanse of sky, so this must have been huge, but it's dead. And it's been dealt with, managed, cut back, and only recently too. So got all these piles of boughs coming down from it. Wow. But I think there's another one up here as well. Well, I'm going to take my hat off because I'm not going to have a crash with traffic in here. and it's not sunny. I need a hat on to keep the sun off as well. So that's coming off, and I did want to take this jacket off in the woods to be a little less conspicuous, but it's not that warm. It's about 14-15 degrees. But I'll see if I can take this off and stash this away. But it is an interesting wood. I've been here before, of course, but it's a big area, and the heathland is quite interesting. That'd be good to get to. Now, as you can see, there are 3 huge trees here, and I presume these are some of the beech trees that they refer to. And I'll tell you what, they are pretty big trees. Well, here's some more open land, and part of the Cannock Chase is quite open heathland, which is managed because you can see there's some trees been planted here. So yeah, let's go a bit further up here. I trust it's not too windy for the microphone, but we're quite high up here, and I think I can work out what's what, because the Midlands is quite a flat area, and right over there will be Birmingham, and there's hills over here, like on the horizon. Stones here are really quite random. It's a sort of a sandy, stony feel, but these are rounded stones, and I presume at some point they were, I don't think they've been brought here, because there's more over here which are the same. So it's a sort of a quite a sandy, pebbly, which suggests seabed or to do with water, but we're quite high up. Behind me, look, you can see all this heather, which is a feature of the uplands, particularly in the Midlands and the Peak District and so on. But I do know that this is blueberry, and it grows prolifically on moorlands and will produce very edible berries in the sort of autumn time. I do remember picking blueberries on Dartmoor many years ago when I was a teenager. We cycled across there, and there were blueberries were up, and people would come up onto the moors and pick them, and very nice too. Shoal Hill Common Local Nature Reserve 2014. It's a bit tatty for having been around only 6 years. Anyway, I found out where these are now. That is the Wrekin, and this over here is Caer Caradoc and Wenlock Edge and Titterstone Clee and Clee Hill. Brown Clee it's called. These are all hills on the border of Wales and Shropshire. Shropshire is a beautiful county full of these hills. So I'm looking more west. I think south is more this way. But I know all these hills quite well, been there many times. In fact, when I was 14, 15, we did a major walk in Shropshire, the 6 Shropshire summits, which isn't easy to say however old you are, from school, and it was 32 miles, I think, in 24 hours to cover all those big hills. over 1,500 feet. And they were some of them. Wrekin and the Clee Hills. The Clee Hills are just short of Ludlow and off then towards Wales. We're going to Wales, not necessarily in that direction, but over to the far side for a few days in a few weeks' time.
I got told by one of the teachers that there was a fire here. That's it.
When?
I don't know.
76, 77, something like that, 1976, 77.
I bumped into this gentleman and his daughter, and he is a local man, and he was telling me what happened during the fire in 1976, 77. Yeah.
Big fire. I was at school at St Peter's, up at the top end of Edgeworth, and you could see the smoke billowing across from up there.
What started it then?
I have no idea. I mean, I've
been told it might have been like a can that the sun was too hot in there.
I was 8 or 9 at the time, so it was many years ago. But it took. That's where all these fire breaks came in all of a sudden.
Yeah.
All the paths you see there were fire breaks, really right the way back to the shoal. Yeah.
So this cleared land here was burnt out, really.
Yeah, it was all.
But when was that? In the 70s, you said?
In the 70s.
It's 30 years, isn't it? So
40 years.
Seems to have
50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. 40.
You're a crikey, right? Yeah, 50. But it seems to have picked up, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it just cleared it.
Yeah.
There's another big one was up by the German. Do you know the German cemetery, the Commonwealth Cemetery?
No, that's over.
Yeah, that was another one as well. Big fire came across there, and God knows how. I mean, when it was upstairs, so I actually stopped on the boundary of the cemeteries. Didn't cause any damage to the cemeteries. Right. That's something to go and see. That is out of the fire. You just see the same as this. It's just heathland. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you've got a line of trees, and they've got the cemeteries, and they all come up. The German and the Commonwealth.
Yeah, amazing. That was a nice chat with that fella. He just lives locally too, so you've caught his accent, the Birmingham Black Country Cannock accent. I've come across what is clearly a playground for bikers, push bikes, BMX biking. There's all these lumps and bumps. I would have loved this as a kid. And I'm going to love it as an adult too. That's more than enough excitement for a man in his late 60s. Well, this is called the bundle of beeches, the beech trees. There's about a dozen of them or so, and apparently they fuse together, but they're pretty big, has to be said. Where are they supposed to be joined up?
Yes.
Where? Underground?
What they did, they were saplings and they strapped them together and they've just grown into one tree.
Oh, so each tree is about 5 trees each?
At least 5, yes.
Wow.
Yes. And that away is Hatherton Hall. But none of this was here. You could see straight the way across.
Right.
It was all fields.
Oh, I see. I got it now.
And it was all cleared just so my lad could sit in his lounge.
and look at the trees on top of the hill.
Yeah.
That's a good example, isn't it?
That's a good one, yes.
Let me tell you a theory about trees and woods like this. My mother was frightened of the woods. She didn't like them. She saw them as a bit threatening. The reason being, so the theory goes, is this, that in centuries gone by in this country, we were obviously ancestors of one of the various sorts of people here, either the Romans who had invaded us, or the native people who were here already. And so if you were of the invading sort, the Romans, you would be travelling, walking undoubtedly on the roads and the tracks, which the Romans indeed made very successfully, and the threat from the local people, who had somewhat guerrilla tactics, to be honest, would have come from the woods, from the sides, off the road. And so the Romans, you might say, were cautious about the woods, and that's where the enemy was. Whereas the local people, the Anglo-Saxons and whoever else was there, if that's right, who they were, they liked the woods because it was in the woods that they would hide and were safe. And so I would suggest that if you were of the Anglo-Saxon heritage, you like woods. Whereas if you were of an invading heritage like the Romans, then you saw woods as being rather sinister. I picked up the extra key for my car and I'm heading back along the A5. Join me as we go home. Yes, that's been good fun. They got the key back to me quite quickly, really. So what's the time now? It's only 1:30. Quicker than they said anyway. So just heading on back home now, and it's been a good day. Interesting Cannock Chase. I know a bit more about it now. Next time we go, I'll be able to negotiate my way around the place